everybody, welcome and welcome back. It's me, Chameleon Girl Gina, and as the title shows, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be making some one pan taco spaghetti today. So the first thing you will need is some ground beef. So I'm going to take about 2 pounds of ground beef. So use between 2 and 3 pounds, depending on how meaty you like yours. But that's what I'm going to do on mine. I'm going to use about 2 pounds of ground beef with my recipe. So after we go ahead and we get the meat in there, because it is frozen, we'll go ahead and add just a very little bit of water. So about 1/4 cup to the meat, and let that begin to go ahead and get brown. So what you will need today is some tomato bouillon. We'll talk about amounts as we get started adding it. This is accent. This is not required, but I will be using it in mine. Then we have some onion, salt. We have some garlic and onion powder. We have some, I almost spilled that. We have some minced onion. We have here together some black pepper and white pepper, to total about 2 teaspoons, 1 teaspoon of each. And we have some taco seasoning, and we added some extra chili powder. We have some enchilada sauce, and this one is my favorite brand. All of my ingredients are mild that is going in mine. And we're going to add some rotel tomatoes, diced tomatoes with green chili. And keep you about 4 cups of water on hand, because you'll need it as we go. Of course, we'll be using some spaghetti, about 1.5 boxes. And I probably forgot something, so we'll talk about it as we go. So let the meat go ahead and get brown, and then we'll come back, and then we'll get started on adding the ingredients. Okay guys, so the next thing you'll do is your meat is getting to where it is almost brown. So you want to break it up a little bit more, as much as you can. You want to move it to the sides. And right in the middle, you'll go ahead and you'll add some onion. Today, my selection of onion is yellow onion and white onion. And then what you will do is you're going to go ahead and add some paprika. And you don't want to add it sparingly, because you want a beautiful color to your taco spaghetti. So it's best to do it when your meat is not all the way done, but almost all the way done. Lots and lots of paprika. Now, you just begin to make sure that you have been chopping up your meat, browning it up, browning it away. Now by now you don't have any more pink meat in there. Got your onions in there. Move them around. And you can use less onions, you can use more. I like a lot of onions, so that's why I used about 1/2 of each type, which was, like I said, the white and the yellow. The reason why it's not a big deal to have to strain your meat is because you're going to need some of that oil to absorb. into your noodles. So we're going to add all of our minced onions, all of our onion and garlic powder, all of our pepper, to total 1 teaspoon, with half black, half white, all of our taco mix and chili powder, a little bit, about half a teaspoon of our onion salt, teaspoon of accent, and then we'll just go ahead and let that continue to go. Now you want this to be colorful, so I'm going to add a little bit more paprika right now. Want it real colorful. Paprika, I'm sorry, it does not have a flavor. I know people want it to have a flavor, and so they buy this really expensive smoked paprika and everything, but maybe you just should do a taste test one day and see if you taste anything other than a powdery taste. I'm going to add a little bit more chili powder, more so for color, but be careful on chili powder because it contains salt or sodium. But you want it to be real flavorful, you know, so just add your flavor up, especially if you're a beginning cook. Go up with your flavor. Don't jump in head first. Like with the recipes that you see, don't just jump in there head first. If they're offering anything with sodium, you always want to add about half of the amount than what it's saying to you, and then you taste as you go to see if you like it. Now another way to make sure that you really get the color into your dish that you are making is to add your colorful seasonings, like I did with the paprika right before it's done. Now at this time, guys, I want you to go ahead and taste your meat mixture with all those good flavors, and I want you to see if it is seasoned to your liking. The flavor should be pretty intense and contain more sodium than what you would just eat directly, because you want it to be able to concentrate these flavors so that when you add in your liquids, it will still be just fine. Believe it or not, it doesn't have enough seasoning. But before we add more, we're going to add, how many ounces will do? We're going to add 20 ounces of enchilada sauce. Then we're going to also add 10 ounces of Rotello, I can say. Now, what is going to happen is that it's going to dilute those flavors that you put in there. So you want to go ahead and dilute it further with about 2.5 cups. And at this time, you go ahead and add about a tablespoon of your tomato bouillon, which is delicious. I think I'm kind of falling in love with it to where I'm finding myself using it almost as much as I use chicken bouillon. They're neck and neck with me. And you're going to give it a nice stir. Now remember, that contains sodium. Any form of bouillon contains sodium. Some of it says less sodium or low sodium. Well, believe you me, it has sodium in it. So we're going to taste and see how that flavor is looking. It tastes really good. We're going to do a little bit more onion powder, I think. Because I don't like for it to just have that taste like maybe is it missing something. A little bit more accent. And we're going to do a little bit of a chicken bouillon. Just a little bit. And we're going to add a little bit more ground black pepper. About a teaspoon. About 3/4 teaspoon. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to give it a stir. And we'll do a little bit more water. About 1/4 teaspoon. 1/4 cup. And then we'll take and we'll add our spaghetti right into the mixture. Now, here's how you'll know if you have enough spaghetti. Is because it will be covered. And so although that's covered, it feels a little thick to me, the sauce. So what we're going to do, we're going to add just a little bit more water. There we go on the water. 1/2 cup. Let's go ahead and cover it up again and let it go ahead and cook for about 10 minutes and then we'll check it. So we're back. Right now we're going to check the spaghetti and see as far as how done it is. And we can see that, well, I can, and you guys will be able to too as you begin to cook more and more like that. Ooh, actually, we're also going to add a little bit more water because we can see that the fluid is cooking down so much that if we don't add any more liquid, then what's going to happen is they're going to remain hard and have no juice on them. So we're going in, we'll probably add another cup of water. So for every cup of water, you're going to go about 5 minutes, maybe even 10. So that's about a cup. And we're just going to make sure all the noodles are down in there. And we'll check it in about another 10 minutes. So we're all set. Your total cook time will take you about 45 minutes, okay? Lastly, we'll go ahead and melt some cheese on top. And I like to use a Mexican cheese blend for this recipe. So we'll let that melt on top. Then we'll add a little bit of fresh parsley. It's not required, but you know, it serves its purpose. Mostly for a colorful appearance. The last thing that we'll add is a very small amount of crushed red pepper. For flavor, more so than for spice. And there you go. Dinner all set. So if you like the recipe, then let me know once you try it. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed the video, give me a like. Don't forget to comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. God bless.